The evening of September 22, 2024, began with the familiar rhythm of Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, Alaska Airlines' main hub. The sky was painted in shades of orange and purple as the sun dipped behind the Olympic Mountains, casting a warm glow over the bustling terminal. For most, it was just another Sunday, another day of departures and arrivals, of reunions and farewells. The air buzzed with announcements, rolling luggage and the hum of travelers heading home to business or on holiday. Families gathered near the gates, business travelers checked their emails, and children pressed their faces to the windows watching planes taxi by. The energy was a blend of anticipation and routine, a microcosm of journeys about to begin. Inside, passengers queued at check-in, browsed shops, or sipped coffee, all under the glow of on-time status boards. The shops offered last-minute souvenirs and snacks, while the cafes filled with the aroma of fresh espresso and quiet conversation. Every corner of the terminal seemed to pulse with the steady beat of travel. Pilots ran pre-flight checks, flight attendants prepped cabins, and baggage handlers loaded suitcases with practiced efficiency. Each person played their part in a well-rehearsed ballet, ensuring that every flight would depart on time and every passenger would reach their destination safely. The entire operation was a testament to modern aviation, a massive, interconnected machine moving people safely and swiftly. From the control tower to the ground crew, every action was synchronized, every detail accounted for. It was a marvel of coordination, invisible to most, yet essential to all. No one suspected that this ordinary evening was about to unravel. Passengers scrolled through their phones, airport staff chatted quietly, and the world outside seemed calm and predictable. There was no hint of the storm brewing beneath the surface. The sun set over the runways, airport lights twinkling against the night sky, planes lined up for takeoff, their lights blinking in the growing darkness, while the city beyond settled in for the night. The sense of normalcy was so complete that what happened next would shock everyone. It was a night like any other, until, in an instant, everything changed. In moments, the invisible tech foundation supporting it all would collapse, turning a routine night into chaos. The airport, once a symbol of order and precision, would soon become the epicenter of confusion and uncertainty. The first sign of trouble wasn't dramatic, it was a digital silence. The airport, usually alive with the hum of travelers and the constant ping of announcements, felt eerily subdued. There was no sudden alarm, no flashing lights, just a subtle, creeping sense that something was off. Around 8 p.m., a check-in agent's screen froze, a spinning icon replacing the usual instant response. At first it seemed like a minor glitch, something that would resolve itself after a quick reboot. Restarting the program didn't help, and soon agents across the terminal faced the same issue. The frustration grew as more screens locked up, and the usual rhythm of check-in ground to a halt. Simultaneously, pilots couldn't access the weight and balance system, an essential safety check before takeoff. Without this data, even the most routine flights were suddenly grounded in uncertainty. Without this data, flights couldn't legally or safely depart. The entire process, from boarding to pushback, was frozen in place. Passengers noticed the sudden halt, check-in lines stalled, the airline's app crashed, and confusion spread. People checked their phones for updates, but found only error messages and blank screens. Across the country, Alaska Airlines flights sat motionless, San Francisco, Portland, and beyond. The ripple effect was immediate, with aircraft unable to leave their gates and schedules thrown into chaos. Captains made vague announcements about technical difficulties, their voices echoed through terminals offering little comfort or clarity to anxious travelers. The problem was clearly systemic, not local. Delays appeared on departure boards everywhere, and the scale of the disruption became impossible to ignore. A digital paralysis was spreading, infecting the airline's core operations. In the operations center, staff watched helplessly as their systems failed to respond, unable to coordinate or communicate effectively. The confident flow of the airport gave way to uncertainty. Travelers, once assured by routine, now faced a night of waiting and unanswered questions. Alaska Airlines was facing a network-wide standstill, its entire operation brought to a halt by an invisible digital force. The chaos that unfolded at Alaska Airlines wasn't the result of a sophisticated cyber attack or a shadowy group of hackers lurking in the digital darkness. Instead, it was triggered by something far more mundane, yet equally devastating: a single, overlooked digital certificate that had quietly expired. Digital certificates are the unsung heroes of modern technology, acting like electronic passports that verify identities and enable secure communication between countless systems. When even one of these certificates expires, the trust that holds the digital world together collapses. Systems stop talking to each other, and the seamless flow of operations comes to a grinding halt. That's exactly what happened here. The expiration of a single certificate set off a domino effect, disrupting Alaska Airlines' entire IT infrastructure in a matter of moments. Critical systems, check-in, flight planning, weight and balance calculations, and even the airline's mobile app were all dependent on this one digital key to function properly. When the certificate failed, it was as if the digital heart of the airline suddenly stopped beating, plunging operations into darkness and uncertainty. Every critical function, meticulously designed for security and reliability, was now locked down by the very protections meant to keep it safe. For Alaska's IT team, the situation was nothing short of a code-red emergency. Locating the expired certificate was like searching for a single faulty wire in a vast, tangled circuit, time-consuming, stressful, and urgent. As passengers and crews waited anxiously in terminals and on grounded planes, engineers worked through the night, racing against the clock to trace the failure and restore the system before the damage grew worse. Every minute the system was offline stranded thousands of travelers, created confusion and frustration, and cost the airline millions in lost revenue and reputation. The digital heart had stopped, and the race to restart it was on. With no fix in sight, Alaska Airlines ordered a ground stop at Seattle-Tacoma, halting all departures and freezing its busiest hub. The runways fell silent, planes held their positions, and the steady stream of takeoffs ceased. Inside, departure boards turned red with delayed notices, offering no estimated times. Passengers on planes sat in limbo, anxiety rising as information trickled in. Families struggled to keep children calm. Business travelers realized they'd miss meetings. Gate agents faced long lines of frustrated passengers, offering only apologies and requests for patience. Ground crews scrambled to reposition aircraft and manage baggage backlogs. The airport's well-oiled machine had seized, chaos rippling from check-in to cockpit. The entire operation was at a standstill with no clear end in sight. The terminal's mood shifted from order to confusion and frustration. Crowds swelled at customer service, passengers waving error messages at overwhelmed agents. Social media exploded with photos, complaints, and stories of missed connections and ruined plans. Some travelers bonded in solidarity while others vented anger and anxiety. Among the stranded, a grieving family, a patient missing a medical appointment, a solo traveler's first flight turned nightmare. Staff tried to de-escalate tensions, offering snacks and repeated apologies but had no answers. Both passengers and employees were caught in the fallout of a system failure beyond their control. Behind the scenes, Alaska's IT engineers raced to diagnose the outage. Was it hardware, software, or something else? Every minute counted. The breakthrough, a critical security certificate, had expired, halting secure communication between systems. Relief. It wasn't a cyber attack, but fixing it meant generating and deploying a new certificate across dozens of servers. Each server needed a careful restart and check, a delicate process under immense pressure. After nearly 2 hours, systems flickered back to life. By 10 p.m., the new certificate was in place, and critical operations resumed. The digital heartbeat returned, but the logistical mess remained. The ground stop could be lifted, but recovery would take much longer. IT teams monitored systems closely, determined to prevent a repeat. The question lingered: how had this simple expiry been missed? The ground stop at Seattle-Tacoma sent shockwaves across Alaska Airlines' entire network. Flights from Los Angeles, Anchorage, and San Francisco were held or delayed, unable to proceed without Seattle's hub. Even after IT systems were restored, the disruption cascaded. Crews and planes were out of position, schedules in disarray. Some flights were canceled due to crew time limits, stranding more passengers. Travelers scrambled for hotels or rebooking, with customer service lines overwhelmed. The 2-hour outage created a domino effect lasting well into the next day. The fragility of airline schedules was laid bare. A single digital failure had paralyzed an entire network. The Alaska Airlines incident revealed how deeply aviation depends on invisible technology. Gone are the days of paper maps. Now, every step relies on interconnected software. Systems like weight and balance aren't optional. They're essential for safety and legality. Secure digital certificates protect sensitive data and operational commands. When these fail, flights stop. There's no safe workaround. The vulnerability isn't unique to Alaska. Every airline faces the same risks. IT teams must keep thousands of components in sync, a never-ending challenge. The more seamless technology becomes, the more disruptive its failure. The silent runways of September 22nd offer vital lessons for aviation and our tech-driven world. First, meticulous IT management matters. An expired certificate is an avoidable error. Airlines must automate warnings and strengthen renewal procedures to prevent such failures. Second, clear crisis communication is essential. Passengers need honest, regular updates, even when answers are incomplete. The event highlights the vulnerability of all critical infrastructure, not just airlines. Building resilient systems and robust backup plans is crucial. Ultimately, the shutdown reminds us how much we depend on invisible technology, and how important it is to prepare for its failure. The night Alaska Airlines went silent was a wake-up call for us all.